What is the worst financial decision you have ever made? Oh my gosh, which to pick from? I've made so many. I've made so many bad decisions. I would say probably. Oh my gosh, I've made so many bad decisions. Even that job I was telling you about earlier where I went to go earn double, I again got into debt. I got into debt. Yes, into debt, yes.
But that's a difference between making more money every time and stewarding money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm saying I ended up learning that actually, if you can't manage 1,000 rand, you can't manage a month. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Amanda. Welcome to Filtered Through Faith. This is our final episode for this season.
Final episode.
Yay. Welcome to episode 8. We are wrapping up the season with this episode. And for our last topic, we thought we were going to talk about money.
Yeah, you're too happy talking about money. So happy.
Something quite serious, but we're going to take a little bit of a light-hearted spin on it because we are not financial advisors by no stretch of the imagination. We are just going to be talking about money and really just our relationship with money, how we've stewarded it or learned what to do and what not to do. And so for this episode, Sammy, I have something.
Is it money?
No, this is not a gift. This is actually courtesy. This box is courtesy. I was looking for a piggy bank, but I couldn't find a piggy bank. So this box is courtesy of Riley's gift. One of her gifts that she got for her birthday this week. But in here is a couple of questions that we're going to put in our hand and pull out a relevant question.
Are we both going to do it?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
So these questions are really just to determine our relationship with money and some of the things we've learned to do, not to do, and just be vulnerable and open. Because I think with money, there's such a stigma, or all of us have become so comfortable with like looking at somebody and summing them up based on the clothes that they wear or the cars that they drive or the house that they live in and things like that. And you think you're never going to get to your financial goals because you're like, they're doing better than I am. It's just such a tool for comparison. And I just wanted to, in this episode, try to like shatter that stigma and help us all realize that we're all on a journey. And it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 rand or 10 million rand
or minus 1,000
or minus your relationship with money is the starting point. So
am I going
put
first?
your hand in the box and pull a question.
Oh, there's really no money in here.
No, there's no money.
Okay. What was your family's relationship with money?
Your parents / family's relationship with money.
What was their relationship with money? As in,
was it good in your opinion? Do you think that, did they struggle?
I've never thought about that. I've never thought. So we did struggle. Growing up, we had hard moments and we had okay moments.
Okay.
So I think it was.
Do you think they had a positive overall relationship with money?
I think because of the struggle, it might have not been very positive. I don't know, man. I've never thought of this. It's such a tricky question.
Really?
I've never thought of this. Like, what is their relationship with money?
And the reason I put this down as one of the questions is because we don't realize how their relationship impacts ours. So, like, let's say there was financial troubles in the home and you felt that as a kid, then for you, money would be such a thing for security.
Yes.
Like without it, you would be feel less secure,
secure, yes.
So that's why I asked.
I don't know. I can't say it was good or bad because obviously it dependent on what was happening in the house. But I would say they also stewarded really well. So yeah, I'd say they were the relationship with money was maybe not great.
Yeah.
But the final outcome was great.
Okay.
So,
They
yeah.
got to a point of
So,
like,
yeah,
okay.
whatever they needed to do, they got
Okay.
done. But I don't think that their relationship with money was. Man, this is
Okay.
a tough one.
Okay.
What was your? Do we swap or no?
Oh no, we don't need to. Like,
But I
we
would
can
actually
just.
like to know. How
Okay,
do you
fine.
think?
So I think my parents started out with a pretty bad relationship with money, and I think they wouldn't mind me saying that. And I think it was also like a learned behavior that they, it's just like there's just never enough, and you know, that type of thing. And when there is enough, everybody's happy, we jolly. Like when there's not enough, you feel it. The whole house feels it, like that type of thing.
Everybody is like irritable.
And like early days, borrowing from parents, or you know what I mean. But I think as their faith matured and many other things in their lives got corrected, their relationship with money also, and so then I saw them evolve, which was really nice for me as a kid to watch, like to see them evolve, to see them be diligent about certain things, to see them, and in the end, like, yeah, my parents were one thing about my parents, though, they were always very hard workers. So regardless of whether they knew the Lord or didn't know the Lord, they worked hard and they looked after their jobs. But like still, you can have an income, and how you steward it is, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I had to think about that when I wanted to intentionally try to get better at managing my money. Okay.
Let's see what you have.
My turn. Wait, I wanna.
Wait, that was a
I
long
wanna
one.
mix it up. Okay. What are you what are your real and honest opinions about tithing? So I obviously believe in the biblical principle of tithing. I do think, though, that I'm not so much aligned with how it's traditionally taught. Like
10%.
Yeah, I actually think. I mean, it's obviously there. It's in the Bible for 10%, but I think it's an Old Testament way. But I think the principle still remains true. So it's more of a sacrificial giving. So I think, like, let's say you're doing really, really well. If 10% is not a sacrifice to you, then I don't think it's going to deliver the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think as I've matured, I've realized that, and in the same breath, if let's say you can't do 10%, but 5% is a real sacrifice to you. So like I've actually tested that principle. So I'll tell you the story. When I was in my second job, I was in my early 20s. And I was obviously making very bad money decisions.
As you do when you're 20.
As you do, as one does. And then I was in a mountain of debt. And I couldn't see how I was going to get out of it. And I was like, thank goodness I could still be, oh, can I please? But my parents were also they were putting limits on us. You know, you can't just always come for petrol money. But then I started to realize I need to be more responsible. So what I learned was, or what I did was, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get out of this hole unless I get a better job. I need more money. So it's the truth. So I was like, okay, so then I did a budget and I was like, I actually can't do 10%. All I can do is 500 Rand.
Did you keep to your budget? Did you say
I did keep to my budget.
Oh, wow.
So I did a budget. And I was like, I can only do 500 Rand, Lord. I cannot do more than 500. That was not even close to 10%. But I was in such a hole that if I didn't pay anything, I would have gotten blacklisted, or it would have been bad, or my car repossessed or whatever. So I was like, okay, I have to make sure I make all my payments. And once I've made all my payments, and made sure I have petrol for the month, and my parents wanted us to pay a little small boarding and whatever. Once I did all those things, I had only 500 Rand left.
So you were at home when you made this bad decision?
No, I don't think I was at home. Sorry, I was already married. Huh? I can't remember actually, Sammy.
Okay.
But
you had to pay for rent.
I wasn't
or
yet
boarding,
married. I wasn't yet married. Yes, I know I wasn't. It was rent. It was boarding. I wasn't yet married. Yeah. But I started working when I was 19. So I think this was 21. And so anyway, I was like, okay, I need a better job, number one. And so I was like, okay, Lord, I'm going to commit to giving 500 Rand every month. Like the minute my salary comes in, even though that 500 could have been the only money I have to spend this month, like I'm just going to give that. And I gave it. And then I also committed to fasting and praying every Wednesday for a new job. And my new job, I was able to not only settle all my debt, I doubled my salary.
Wow.
And I was able to, I was able to then like tithe properly.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, so I like tested the principle and I found the Lord, because like for me to get, I moved from like an administrator to a professional role, like a specialist role, which is not common. It doesn't happen. Yes. So I really feel like the Lord's hand was in it.
Double your
like
salary
to
is
double
also
your
unheard of, because
salary.
the norm is like 25%.
Exactly. It was a
Wow.
total. So like I feel like that was me, and I always tell people that story. And every time I've been in a financial bind, I followed the same recipe, and it's worked for me every time. So yeah, I do believe that's my honest opinion about that principle.
Just not the 10%.
Yes.
Okay. These questions are not easy ones, eh? What is the best financial decision you've ever made? Tithing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also, 90% with God is always better than 100% without God.
Okay.
I believe. So I think tithing is also
Nice.
my top ones. I have, no, my financial decisions haven't always been the greatest.
But that was when did you realize like, oh, I have to do this? You always knew? Or?
I always knew. So I started working when I was 16. Crazy things. And my dad was very stern with that.
Okay.
He really showed me how to work with my money in terms of tithing and saving and whatever. So from a young age, I've been doing that.
Okay.
And he always taught me, your 90% with God is better than your 100% without God.
Very good. So nice. Okay. Does money or the lack thereof affect your mood?
Ooh.
In all honesty, yes, it does affect my mood. I would like to say no, I'm just equally serene. But yeah, it does.
It's hard because sometimes things like the moment pinches and the walls crumble and everything just feels close.
I know, but for me, it's actually in an unhealthy way. So like when we were early married, we also never had a lot, and cousin always used to say to me, Amanda, why are you stressing? Like, we have a roof over our head, we have food to eat. Yes, we're not going out every other weekend, but we have a roof over our head, we have food to eat, we have cars to drive. Like, we okay. But still, like, and I think that's what was like one of my biggest motivations in my career. Like I remember I said in one of the other episodes, I feel like the Lord is very much working with me on money.
Yeah, because you're
like I think my relationship with it holistically is so. Chad was laughing earlier when I said I was like the only way is to earn more money, and that has been my. I've been like just pushing more money, and actually that's not the answer. And it's only at this ripe age of 37 that I'm realizing that my relationship with money needs to be looked at, and how it affects my mood, and and why it feels like the more money I have, the more secure I am. Like I'm finding my security in it, and that's not of God.
But that's me with a job, eh?
Is it?
Yeah, like I find false security with jobs. I'm like, no, I actually.
Is it the money of the job that brings you, or like the fact that you get a salary on the 25th?
I think it is the money of. You shouldn't be. I think it is the money, obviously.
Okay.
Just like I've worked myself up the ladder far enough to earn a good salary, and it's hard to take a step back. It's very difficult to take a step back. And then also, like, there's certain things when you do take a step back for family life or whatever you take a step back for, there's certain things you have to pinch. And there's certain things you have to pinch, and those things are so hard for me to pinch because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like,
I know.
something so simple, like getting my hair done every week. Like, so
Yes.
stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. Oh yeah, but if I had to go back to work, I can do this every single week. But
I
now
know.
I can't even do this.
I know, like,
but
oh
it's
my
like,
gosh, if you're a woman out there and we are not the only people with these struggles, please help us, like, tell us. But I feel the same way. Like, so I've been
So good.
doing my nails myself to like try to. But I was saying to Hailey, my daughter, the other week, I was like, I actually really just miss going to somebody and putting my hands down and just being like, just sort me out, thank you.
Yes, like, this is what I want.
And show her a picture and like take 2 hours to just think about nothing and have somebody just sort out my hands and my feet.
Yes,
Like, I miss that. Like, you do miss it.
Me too.
A person has become so accustomed to some of the luxuries, but in the grand scheme of things, these are not the most important things. And
Oh,
so
are they? I'm joking.
and so these are so these are yeah, I'm starting to like just question my relationship with money, not letting it affect my mood, not feeling like like how
Doom
my
and
husband
gloom.
said, like, just have perspective. You have food to eat, you have a roof over your head, you have more than most people have.
Yes.
So just like be content in that.
You lack nothing.
Yes.
So in our relationship, it's so funny you say that, because we are the opposite. Like, Chad's the one that like gets so moody, like when times are tough. Like, he is like so moody, like he's so he doesn't sleep, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no man, we have food to eat. Okay, maybe we don't have food to eat. I'll make food to eat.
Yeah.
Like, you just find
Yeah.
something. But yeah.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yes,
Okay.
you.
Oh, I'm not taking. Okay, let's see. What is your first memory of money? My first memory of money is earning a salary. Like, I think it was like 6,000 rand, and spending 4,000 rand on clothes.
You are such a girl's girl.
I literally spent like 4,000 rand on clothes. And then the 2,000 rand, I had to tithe. And then I had to pay boarding.
Yes.
And then I still was like to my parents, no, I'm going to do half. This
Okay,
month
wait,
and
just
half
hold on.
next month.
While we're on this boarding thing, will you do it with your children?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I will.
Why?
Because I think it taught me responsibility at a
Okay.
very young age. Like, when I moved into my own place, it didn't hurt me. It wasn't difficult for me. Like, I knew what I had to do. So my parents actually made me pay boarding and food and utilities.
Okay.
Whoa. And car. And so I paid for a car. When I used my mom's car, I had to pay for the car.
Whoa.
And I had to make sure the car's running. So if anything broke on that car while I was driving it, I had to fix it. And I love that approach. I definitely will take it. I will share it with my girls. Maybe not as harsh, like obviously. In terms of a car, I'll just give them a car or whatever. But I think it made me who I am with my money. Like, I can make money Amanda, I can make money stretch.
Really?
Like, I can make 1,000 rand stretch a very long time, unless I go into Woolworths, because then my bill is like, I take 2 things and it's like 500 rand. But yeah.
I don't think I'll continue the boarding principle with my kids. I might. So I worked with another lady who did this with her son. She also grew up in boarding ways, normal, traditional, where you must pay boarding. So she took from her son every month, but she never told him, and hopefully my kids don't watch this episode, but she never told him. She never told him that she was putting the money away.
I'll also do that.
And she put the money away every month, and then it was a deposit for his house when he got married.
That's amazing.
So that was like, I also feel like, because of this boarding story, our culture, unfortunately, is like a little bit behind, honestly. I feel like while other kids are having some disposable income to travel or to
start businesses
or something like that, or to pay an apartment or something like that, we start late with a lot of those things because we were still paying boarding.
Yes.
So I agree with the principle of it, but I also feel like, I don't know. And I think that's why a lot of us like go to buy a car first before we do something smart, like buy an apartment, you know?
Yes.
So I would, yeah.
Yeah, so that was my plan as well. I was going to take the money and then, but not to put down on their first house.
Yeah.
I would love to, God willing, give them their first house as well. First house, first car. I really want to do that. Apartment, not a house, but like apartment.
Yeah.
Where if they get married, they can rent it out or whatever.
Yeah.
But then the car, they must run it to the ground.
Yeah.
Like, don't get to buy a new
Yes.
car. And then the money that I am keeping for them, I would like, if they have a business idea, then there's the capital. If they don't have a business idea, then invest the money and then they get the small portions of it.
Yes.
That's what I would like to do with
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Okie dokie. Well, we're actually going through these questions pretty fast, eh?
They're so interesting.
Sure, I can't spell it. I didn't spell it.
Oh, I thought you got a difficult one because you've been getting all the difficult
You
ones.
can't figure out what you're on.
No, what is this is supposed to be worst, and I wrote I don't know what is the worst financial decision you have ever made? Oh my gosh, which to pick from? I've made so many. I've made so many bad decisions. I would say probably. Oh my gosh, I've made so many bad decisions. Even that job I was telling you about earlier where I went to go earn double, I again got into debt. I got into debt. Yes, again into debt, yes.
But that's a difference between making more money every time and stewarding money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm saying I ended up learning that actually if you can't manage 1,000 rand, you can't manage a month. Yeah. So anyway, the right thing was not to. It was to learn to manage my money better. But the worst decision, to answer the question, the worst decision I've ever made, one of many, was eating my pension money.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
oh yes, I remember
cashing that baby out.
We had that conversation, right? When we at work we had the conversation and everybody was like, "Oh no, they use their pension money," and I was like, "What? On what? Why would you guys use it?" Yeah, that is a.
I just cashed that baby out.
I mean, what did you use the money on? Wait, what? You don't even know.
Us and the Lord knows at this point. At this point, the Lord knows.
I can't remember.
I don't know. Look, sometimes I did pay off cars.
Mm-hmm.
One time I paid off my first car. Paid that baby off. Had the car.
Good
The car
for you.
was good, nice running. And then I proceeded to make another bad decision
You
and
traded
sold the car.
Oh no!
And then my husband also helped me make another bad decision. We gave 10,000 rand of the profit of the car just like that for I don't know what reason. It's not like the Lord laid it on our heart or anything.
You gave it
To the church.
oh.
Just like, I'm not saying you shouldn't give to the church. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying in that moment it wasn't Holy Spirit led. I don't know what it was led by,
Not
but
from-
we
not-
shouldn't have done that.
So what you?
It was just
you
on an
didn't-
impulse.
So you didn't have the Holy Spirit tell you that your husband didn't have the. You just
We were just like, this
happy
feels
go
right.
lucky.
This feels right.
Yeah, please don't go on.
So, yeah, I made lots of bad
No,
decisions.
I
I am unashamed to admit that I am a recovering poor financial manager.
was bad.
And you know what's the most ironic thing?
What?
Is that I like managed budgets for big corporates in my job. The most ironic thing.
Millions. Okay,
Millions.
Maybe
Yes.
if you were earning the millions, like the
But
600
you see the
millions and
difference.
stuff.
No.
my
So
friend.
actually, here's a good tip. The difference is seeing a tender being put in front of you, knowing like, oh, we have to pay for this service and it's 250 million a month or whatever, or a year, whatever, right? Per year, it's 250 million. These are the offers I have on the table. What's the cheap? It's like a science, and this is money you never see. You
Yes.
never feel it. You never see that in your
Yes.
account. It almost feels like you're so far removed from it that it's actually like
Absolutely.
it's just a thing you're dealing with. And so in that context, I was very much able to negotiate a price down, look for savings, be very creative in
But
like,
not
no, I think we
in-
should spend the money like this, not like this. We should move this to a 30-day account so it can be bearing interest, blah, blah, blah.
But
I could
you
do
weren't
all
doing
those
that.
things.
Own
I
capacity.
could do all
But
those things.
that's what I wanted to say to you, because working with someone, because I also worked with
Yeah.
big figures.
Yeah.
When you work with your own money, it's almost like, sure, what is this? Like, it's change.
Yes.
It's little, yeah.
It's too little to care.
It's too little to put in a 30-day notice account.
It's like the interest is going to be 75 rand.
I was going to say 7 rand 50, but okay, 75 rand is good too.
No, so I think, I just never. That's why that first question with what was your parents' relationship with money, and it's something I'm trying. I think having that tangible money in your hand, and the reason why we made such a stupid
agree.
decision when I got like a cash payment for my car was like, this is real cash money in my hand, and I've never really felt all this much money in my hand. Never seen so much money go into my account. So I would really say probably by like 30, by the time I was 30 is the time I really started to be a lot smarter about money. Really try to like educate myself, watch videos, all of those things. But it took, for the fact that I've been earning a salary since I'm 19, and from the age of 23 it was a good salary. Yeah.
But I think it is important to know your relationship with money. But I never thought of my parents' relationship and how it affects me. But you're right, it does affect you.
Yeah.
Because you almost view money the same, unless you intentionally go, which I did then.
Yeah.
Intentionally go and look for videos to watch so that you can change your mindset on
Yes.
money. You actually just copy paste.
Yeah. And I'm now like really trying to, I don't think we have it down, but I'm really trying to like teach my kids about money. Like I'm trying to give them, Kirsten and I are trying now to give them an allowance. We're not actually as diligent, and we need to get better at it because they're just getting older every single second. But having them realize like when you use it, it gets finished.
Yes,
it
yes.
sounds like a silly concept, but it's
No,
so
but then
true.
you have to give them the money. Do you give them money, or do you put it in an account?
We put it in an account, but
Give
I
them
think
money.
we should give the money.
Because
Yeah.
I have the thing, and Chad always laughs at me about this. Like, if we're on a pinch,
Yeah.
I'm like, give me the cash. I will not spend that money. Like,
Yes, it's
I
you're a
see
bit
that
better when
money
it's like hard
leave,
money in
yes.
your I hear you.
But Apple Pay,
yes,
I can swipe it like Apple is paying.
you know
but
what I do
money-
now too.
What?
I Sheen shop. I add to cart and I never take
You
it out
never
of cart. When I feel like I would love to go shopping right now, but I don't have the money, then I just
Do you
Sheen
even
shop.
buy from Shein? Do you even like Shein stuff?
I don't really like
I
it,
was
but
just about to
it.
say, you like good quality clothes.
I know it eases the like. Oh, this is so nice. Add to cart. Add to cart. I never.
The same Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is.
Yeah,
I never
apparently.
empty the cart.
Yeah,
But
no.
it does like help me. Anyway, your turn,
So
Sammy.
you're an emotional spender, my friend.
I am, yeah. Which is no good, but I'm recovering. I'm getting
I'm
better,
recovering.
better and better every day in every way.
And so, are you the spender and your husband's the water?
we are both spenders. That's the
Yeah.
problem. That has been our problem in our marriage, is
So-
that we've both been spenders and nobody's there. Like, actually, I wish he was.
There's no gatekeeper.
Ooh, I
You
I
must
almost said something that could be. I wish he was.
the water. No, but you must
like-
be the water then. He probably wishes you were the water.
I hate being the. Oh, I'm
and
just
he
gonna be
probably hates
better.
being the water, but
Yeah.
I was the water and Chad was the spender. And somehow, I don't know, we just aligned on being spender.
Yeah.
I was like, it's fun to be a spender.
It is fun. It's so fun.
Until you get the ball.
Yeah.
And trust
And
me,
not only that, I think you're doing a look. It is fun, but I think also it just reminds us of what like a consumerism mentality we
Yeah.
have. And God is not calling us to have this negative relationship with
With
money,
money.
where it makes us happy, it makes
Mhm.
us feel secure.
Mhm.
It makes like that is all things we should be getting from the Lord.
Absolutely.
And we should be trusting in Him to care for our needs.
Mhm.
And the reason why we're so shackled by money is because of all these things that are holding us back. And so bigger picture, and that's what eventually, as I grew in my faith, I learned like money is shackling me. It's shackling me from pursuing what God is calling me to do. It's shackling me from being the mother, the wife, the leader I want to be. Because you're like, oh, I can't be this type of leader at work because if I say this, I might lose my job and I need this job because I will have the money too much. And you
Because
see what
my
I'm saying?
lifestyle
My
backs
lifestyle
up.
needs this money and whatever. You see, like when you really look at it, it's such a prison.
It is a prison, it is. And I've also realized it now that I'm not earning any money. Is like, wow, like money's become so much for me. Like, and not that you mean for it to be, it just happens. It's like sneaky, like little things, like, oh, have a nice house, then having a nice car. But like, okay, do you need this house?
Yes.
Do you need such and such car?
Yes.
Do you need to be shopping at? Yes, you need to shop at Hoodies. No, you don't. You don't need to shop at Hoodies. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's those little things that you can actually put in the back seat and say, okay, Lord, I follow you. Like, you know what it reminds me of? Matthew.
Yeah.
You know how Matthew dropped his post? Like he left everything.
Yes, and
then
just
he
walked
followed
away.
God.
And just follow Jesus.
That's
that is
exactly
so perfect.
what you need.
That's
to
exactly
do.
true. That's
exactly
so
what
right.
you
I
need
mean,
to do.
it's like we can't just leave our fishing and go follow Jesus.
Yeah,
We're struggling
need
to
to
do
do
it
that.
because we are so shackled to the money. And that has been my growth journey now, is like learning to just not be so shackled to the money.
And that's also why we struggle with debt and stuff like that, is because
Yes.
we're so scared to let things go.
Yes.
We just want to hold on. Oh, but if I have just this. Because
Yes.
what would make you take out debt? Like,
Yes.
what is it that will make you take out debt? Having something that you can't buy right now.
Yes.
Like
it's
like,
because it's that desire for instant gratification.
yes, it absolutely
It's the
is.
desire for instant
But isn't that
gratification.
like, if you
Oh
think
my
about
gosh,
the grand
talk
scheme of
about
things, isn't that crazy?
So I had this conversation with some people at work as we were like talking about them, asking me what's one of our next episodes. I was like, oh, I'm actually pretty excited about this one. It's about money. I was like, so we're talking about consolidation loans. Imagine
Nice, please.
a lie from the devil. But how many times have we all been caught up? No. This consolidation loan is going to make all your debt better. Instead of
Yes.
paying 5 people, you're going to pay one
person.
Whatever. And then the interest is higher. You're just so silly. And it's like, oh, this loan is going to give you an extra 10,000 in pocket, so you go do it, and you just dig yourself into it deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yes. And it's so crazy because if you want debt and you don't have debt, nobody will give you debt.
Yes.
They want somebody that keeps coming back and like, oh no, you take out
Yes.
this little loan, and then once you have that little loan, come back to me.
Yes.
Like, come on.
But even all of those things, there are ways to overcome it, where you still are able to have a decent credit record, but you actually you're not highly indebted.
But I think it starts with discipline and
Yes.
self-control. If you don't have discipline and self-control, please leave the credit card alone. Sort out your discipline and self-control first, and then you can have the credit card. Okay. What is the most money you have ever spent on a single purchase? Whoa! Whoa! I have spent, and this, maybe for you they will be like, Sam, this is silly, but I'm the type of person, I don't like spending big amount of money. Like, it bothers me. Like, like really.
You've
really
never
bothers me.
swiped for just like 10K or 20 or something like that.
When we bought the house, I had to pay the transfer cost, and that was like,
that's a lot of money.
like swiping for that was hard.
Okay.
Like having
But
that
that's
leave,
almost like an investment, though.
that is like, it's not really. It's not really, guys. Like, I think the biggest trick that people tell other people is like, buy a house, it's a good investment. No, it's not a good investment. It's an investment when you pay it off. If you're lucky, you pay it off in 20 years.
Yes.
Then maybe
actually,
it
if you're
becomes
lucky, you pay it off in
investment.
10 years. If you
No, if you're lucky, you pay it in 20 years. Because a lot
Yes.
of people get themselves into so much trouble that they now need to take money from the house to then keep the house updated.
and by other things,
and-
you're right. It's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So the only time that the house is actually a really good asset for you is that if you pay it off and it actually makes you some money.
Yes.
Or if you pay off enough and you have a loan, a reoccurring loan, where you
Yes.
can actually take money out of that and then buy
Yes.
another property. Now you
Yes.
have 2 properties and you're
Yeah.
paying one.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes an investment for you. But everything else is not.
Yes.
But anyway, my biggest purchase, naughty Sam. For my 30th birthday, was it 30th or 31st? I can't remember. I really wanted an iPad. So I had a MacBook.
Okay.
MacBook Pro that I also believe in buying things cash. So I bought
Okay.
that thing cash way ago, like I think 2017.
Okay.
But I wasn't getting much use out of it. And
Okay.
Chad just kept putting his stuff on there, and I was like frustrated, man.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really want an iPad, but like I'm the type of person I'm all in or nothing.
Okay.
Like
So you just swiped and bought it brand new. You went into that Apple store and you were like, give me that iPad.
Not
baby."
just the iPad. I bought the keyboard and the pen and everything. But that was fine. It was accounted
You were
for.
like their favorite customer. They were like,
Exactly.
can we sell you this accessory to your iPad?
Yeah, and Ventus and all those things. Are you still okay? But
Even though you can get a 20 or the off-brand item for 20 for like 80% less.
not the same.
It's
Not the same. But yeah, no. But also, I'm the type of person that will take that, like a purchase like that, into account. Like my first, the MacBook that I bought, I saved for that thing for a long time, hey?
Okay.
Like really long. Like I
Okay.
can save for
I'm
something
surprised
for long.
that you weren't gonna say like, oh, it was like a LV bag
Oh,
or
no.
something like that you
No.
just swipe for.
I love an LV bag, and I went to Paris wanting to buy myself an LV bag, but I couldn't. Oh,
You were just like,
I
"This
couldn't.
is
I
too
couldn't,
painful
my
to
friend.
swipe
It's
for."
painful. Like,
Yeah.
my father laughed at me. Yesterday we went to the shop and they did not. I don't know if you know, Pick and Pay has this sale,
Yeah.
50 Rand burger Fridays, whatever. So I was like trying to get everybody onto this because this is a really good deal and it's a really good cheese. Like
Yeah.
everything's checking out. Like it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Oh, the Pick and
forcing-
Pay F&B thing. Yes, I saw it. 50 Rand for Burger Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
not-
yeah,
yeah.
this is not a sponsored
Unless
episode.
you want to sponsor us, Pick and Pay, because
This is
we'll
the season
gladly-
finale.
So I went with my dad to get the stuff, and he bought a couple of other things. And I looked at the total, and I was like, that total is off. And I told the teller the total's off, and she's like, no, it's not off. And I'm like, no, that's not right. So on our way, I'm calculating the stuff, and I'm like, dang it, they charged us double for this ice cream. So I went back.
Oh.
My father's like, this is taking you so long. Honestly, it's not worth the 40 Rand. I was like, it is worth the 40 Rand because that's your hard work money.
Yeah.
Like, you've earned this money. Like,
Yeah.
steward it well. Like, now you just add a 10 Rand and you have another burger meal next week. He's like, no,
Yeah.
Sam, this is too much.
No, you good like that. I
No,
would be your
I'm
dad
not.
in that situation.
but
I would
I've
also be
been-
like, oh, it's not worth it.
Much
No.
difference, yeah.
I've been burned. No, I've been burned.
But you're
by
right.
it.
I'm trying to be like that now. I'm trying to care that the butter here is cheaper.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm trying to care about that. Okay, so last question. If you won or were blessed with 10 million tomorrow, can you confidently say you would know what to do with it? Hell to the no.
Deposit it into a church account.
Definitely not. I don't think I'm there yet. I think I'm better than I was, but I'm definitely not there yet. I am wanting to now, as I grow, learn. I think now I'm better at like stewarding. I don't make all those terrible decisions anymore. But I don't think I'm very good at like understanding what to invest in, what not to invest in. How to, those types of things, like this should, with these savings, instead of it just laying in your savings account, make it work like this, or so I don't think I would have the knowledge now, but I would like to. It's a goal of mine in the next at least 2 years to be like, yeah, I totally have this down now. I feel like if somebody were to say, here's 10,000, can you do the right things with it, I would know. That's where I want to get to. Good.
I think that's very good.
I think this was a good. What about you? Sorry, do you think you'll know? Do you feel like you've cracked your money habits?
I think I have. I have cracked my money habits. But you know, Woolworths gets me every time. Like, Woolworths? I have a bad, like, love-hate relationship with Woolworths because I love it so much. So that's where most of my naughtiness comes from. But I think I would know what to do with the 10 million because I think about it a lot.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. But I also feel like if you want something, you have to make sure that you're in a position to receive it.
Yes.
So not 2 years, Amanda, 2 months. You
Yes.
need to figure that out so
And
that
the scripture is
you'll
what? Those who are
receive it.
faithful with little will be blessed with much. So,
Yes. And be
anyway.
ready to receive your 10 million.
Yes. Well, we loved having you here with us for this very fun last episode. We hope you enjoyed this financial evaluation literacy discussion with us.
From your
And
financial
you take some
advisor.
time and you take some time to have some similar discussions with friends, family, and just plot yourself on a graph, see where you're at, see how you can get better. And we look forward to seeing you in season 2. Sam and I are going to take a little bit of a break now, but stay posted on the socials so that you can see when we do season 2. And a lot of this first season was just our opinion, how we feel about things, where we at. But what we'd like to explore and dig deeper into with season 2 is like actually getting some expert advice, people who have done some of what we've spoken about well or demonstrated it well. And we'd love for you to grow with us on that journey. So if that's you and you feel like you can join us on that, then we look forward to having you with us
We
for
would
season
love to
2.
have
For
you.
now, catch up on everything in season 1.
And let us know what was your favorite episode.
Yes.
And since we cheersed with champagne, we're going to cheers with coffee and tea. Yay. Thank you guys for joining us. You can find us on all the socials, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok. Wherever you are, we are there too. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.